In this session on macroeconomy, we are going to talk a little bit more about the circular flow of income model. As we recall, the circular flow of income model talks about the relationship between the firms and the households and the flow of income or money between households and the firms. The flow of goods and services between the households and the firms would be the consumption of goods and services that the households buy from the firms. And the firms produce these goods and services by making use of the factors of production, land, labor, and capital. And in order to provide these goods and services, when households provide the factors of production, households earn rent, interest, wages, and profits from the firms. So there is this circular flow of income between the firms and the households, and as a result we can say that this economy is a closed economy where the sum of all the income earned by the firms would be equal to the sum of all the income earned by the households. In other words, it's the same flow of income that flows in a circular manner between the firms and the households. Now, it's not the same in the real world, meaning in the real world, it's not a closed economy. We are open to the rest of the world. We have a government, there are banks in a macroeconomy. So whenever there is a government, there would be injections to the circular flow of income, and likewise there will be leakages from the circular flow. The injections by the government would be in terms of the government expenditure injected through the circular flow through subsidies or other various infrastructure projects spent by the government. Similarly, government withdraws from the circular flow in the forms of taxes by taxing the households as well as the firms. In addition to the government, we also would have banks in a macroeconomy. The banks inject to the circular flow through the investments provided in the form of loans to the firms as well as the households. Now, if it is an open economy, the economy would be doing business with the rest of the world. The economy would be exporting goods and even services to the other countries. And when they export goods and services to the countries, income flows into the economy. Likewise, when the economy imports goods and services, flow of money is out of the economy. So when we try to calculate, or when we try to give a number to the total output of goods and services in the economy, in other words the GDP of the economy, we would have to sum up the total consumption, the total government expenditure, and the total investments in the economy and the net exports. So X minus M would be the difference between the total exports and total imports. So the total GDP of the economy can be calculated by summing up the total consumption, the total government expenditure, the investment expenditure, and the net exports. So we would have a monetary value. It can be expressed in US dollars or it can be expressed in Maldivian rupiah, where we would express the total GDP of the economy at a given year or at even a given quarter for that matter. So when we give a nominal value for the monetary value for the total GDP, we are talking about the nominal gross domestic product of the economy. And if we are talking about the real value of goods and services produced in the economy, we are talking about the real GDP of the economy.